So very kind of you.
Yeah.
Sure, we're gonna do that. Yeah, I'm doing
Okay. We have here and we can go by.
But I was just gonna race back home. Yeah. Yeah.
Chum den de jen java da jumba yang da ba zo be san je re ba da ja zo den ba de wa ra je ba je den jen ba je bo ka lo jur ba la na me ba la da me nam je den ba san je chum den de pe ja wa sha ja do ba la cha ze Chado jazo che otomba chomden de jen shava cha chomba sanje rikpa dan jazo tenpa devara shava chikden jenpa jebo debe kalo lana meba lada menam je tenpa sanje chomden de pe java shaja tuba la jaze Chudo jazo jo dumba jomden de sheba cha jomba yang damba zobe sanje reba dan jaz sheba jeden jemba jebon debe galo jorwa lana meba lada menam je dumba sanje jomden de bejawa shanja Chadze lo judo jazo che ho lama da gombo jezen jambe yan Chadze lo kange lo temye tenje nye da nam da rapse chenye dengkwen che se che nye je to ga le pa ma enze kanda se be che ra ma re men do mo do nye ge se be cho zo gwen la po je da ze nye yang den song cho da je cho nye mo nye lo le je ja cho che ze cha ma re men da nye go che nye chen ze ra de nam te ne da je sa ju da se do ve ko cha da ju da jo ne gen de da le me se jang de yang la de omo arabazana de omarabazana Omara bazanado, Omara bazanado, Omara bazanado, Omara bazanado, Omara bazanado, Omara bazanado, Omara bazanado. Omara bazanado, 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 Omara bazanado. Omara bazana di 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 zenden je jara veze je dal temo memba ramze denje jolo do ba ye lo de bo ve na se do zo lo je me do dama re ra len je nye de jamba de Sanje Shendo Meide Buwa Yin Zhogwen Namda Shen La Chu Bara Sho Lama Damba Jen Nama Jen Shungu Kala Genze Tente Ne Shedara Sambe Dujan Zema La Chaba Abdo Su Rana Mandala Ganaya Daya Me Sanje Chudan Zonje Chonam Bardo Dane Jazo Je Dage Sheje Yebe Zonam Je Jola Penje Sanje Drubara Sho Sanje Chudan Zonje Chonam Changju Bado Dane Jazo Je Dage Sheje Yebe Zon Penje Sanje Drubara Sho Sanje Chudan Zonje Chonam Ala Changju Bado Dane Jazo Je Dage Sheje Yebe Zonam Je Jola Penje Sanje Drubara Sho. Good morning. Were you here last week? No, yeah? Did you get my email?
Yeah.
Okay, great, great. I wasn't sure whether that was your email address.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So last week, we had to cancel the class because most of you were away. Not really canceled. We only did online class. There was no in-person, so I was worried that somebody may appear here. Anyway, nobody was here. That's good. So how was your week? Great week?
I really appreciated the encouragement from the last teaching to put the teachings into practice and not to just listen and then go away. Because I think for me that's really, I have to keep reminding myself.
Thank you. Thank you. Because of feedback like yours, I keep repeating this. But from my own, I feel very embarrassed, very shy to say that you must apply. Because I myself don't practice, put into practice. So if I say, oh, you have to practice, it's not right. But then, yeah, you say, oh, it helps. So when it helps, so yeah, no matter how shameful it is, you just have to close one eye and then say it.
For the lineage. Buddha, so.
So anyway, so the question is, were there ample opportunities to apply all this? Remember last week was mainly about, curbing our jealousy. We have those group of people whom we are not that fond of. But when something good happens to them, or somebody does good or help these people, some emotion arises within us. So that emotion, was it a positive one, something appreciating the other person's joy and happiness? Was it something about rejoicing the other person's success and good things? Or was it something else? So this is all about Shantideva. So normally our tendency is that when something good happens to those whom we are not fond of, we get angry, we get jealous. And sometimes we wish them harm. We wish that things don't go well for them. And we feel happy when things don't go well for them. So Shantideva is saying that these are all, when you really examine, analyze it, there's nothing to be joyful about. First of all, everything is what you call, everything revolves around karma. When you have the karma, these things will happen, whether you wish or not. So it will not happen. Even if you wish harm for the other person, if there is no karma for the other person to experience such harm, it will not happen. But because of our this wish, this ill intention, we commit negative actions. We suffer. Even if this happens, it says, what good will it do for us? Whatever situation we are in, it does not change anything. Something bad happened to your enemy, but you are still in the same situation. If that somehow changes your situation or condition to a better one, then at least there is some kind of basis for wishing them harm. But Shanti was saying that there is no such thing. Anyway, I came across this words by 5th Dalai Lama. It says, Tade sedung di segum tun ngewar nuna milo chingatong mise tegum tongwa sele tu luso dorne ningru ke jang chungs. You get it? No, I'm asking you. You say you are in translation. You are learning, trying. Is it training to be?
I'm thinking about trying.
Oh, thinking. Okay. Still long way, isn't it? So the meaning here is that in this short life, it says that we are willing to put up with any hardship just for food and drink. If we are willing to put up for food and for the sake of this short life, then it says that the milutingatong, that means is a is to illustrate that the long time, once we are born in lower realms, then the suffering will be intense. Not only suffering itself is intense, it will be so long. So in order to prevent that kind of suffering, even if we have to give our life, it says that kind of commitment, even if we have, even that kind of commitment is too little, too small. So basically, it's saying that what we are doing, what we are trying to do, what we call Dharma practice, is not easy. It's something, just we can do quickly, or something comes very easy. It says it's not easy. It's very difficult. But then we have to see that if we're able to bear the hardship, if we're able to put up with the hardship and difficulty, then there is this chance that we will be able to prevent that long-lasting, that intense suffering that we may suffer in the future. We will be able to put an end to it. So it's like worth doing. So coming back to the patience chapter, some of the things The Shantideva says, of course Shantideva puts in a very logical, a very sensible way, but it is not easy. But Shantideva never mentioned it, and never said that it's going to be easy. It is going to be very challenging. The reason why it's very challenging, we find challenging, is because we are used to the other things. Remember when Buddha, when he became enlightened, Buddha refused to teach. Buddha remained in silence for how many days? 49 days? Because Buddha felt that the insight that he has gained is completely opposite of what people are doing, what people perceive to be the right way to achieve happiness. So Buddha thought that what I have achieved, sula tenya kowar minube memanagi nangdu never chance. What if I teach what I have achieved, what I have gained, the insight that I've gained? He said nobody is going to understand this. So I better remain in silence in the forest. But then eventually the Brahmins and all, they have made the request. So there are two meanings here. One meaning is that, of course, what Buddha have achieved is completely opposite of people's belief. So you have to say that it is like the normally, the abnormal thing, we said abnormal behavior is something behavior that deviates from the majority. So normally the common behavior is considered correct or right thing. So when you are to say that this is the way which completely deviates from the majority, then it's very difficult. So that's one reason. The other reason is any Dharma teaching, you need to request. Even for Buddha, you have to request, please teach us. So that's why we say Masuwa Mijao. Any teaching, Lama cannot say, okay, I'm going to teach you this. You have to make a request. So when you make the request, then it's up to the Lama. And also prostration. I just wanted to bring this up. I prostrate before teaching to the throne. It's a respect to the Dharma. Dharma is so holy, so precious, that before giving teaching, make prostrations. And I sit on the throne. It's not because that I am high or I'm something, special person. These are all respect for Dharma, because I'm teaching Dharma. So normal talk, you don't see people sitting on the throne. Only when someone gives Dharma teachings, they sit on the throne. It is a respect. So when you prostrate, you are not prostrating to me. You are not looking at me as something high realized being. You are making prostrations because I am sharing Dharma, that precious one. So in monastery, the tradition is, at the beginning, you prostrate 3 times. At the end, you prostrate 3 times. That's the practice. So in your last class, last teaching, we don't do the at the end prostration, because this is to create that auspiciousness that we will have another opportunity. So when you make the final class, if you make the prostration, then it's like that concludes. No more classes. So that's why we purposely don't do the final one. But normally, you do the beginning and at the end. You don't have to do it. I'm just letting you know that that's the practice. That's the practice. Because at the moment, You may not know. You may not be aware of these things. So once you are aware of these things, then it's up to you. Whether you want to do, whether you don't want to do, it's up to you. So I thought that it is important. Sometimes people don't know. If you don't know, then I feel that it is my responsibility to let you know. Yeah. If you know and if you don't do, not my responsibility, isn't it? So anyway, just to kind of recap what we talked about in the first. So earlier in the last class, do you recall anything? Those who have tuned in, give me something that you recall from the last class. I should give quizzes every beginning of the class.
You had noticed there was different sections that we were going through that are not marked. That struck me. I'd never heard that before.
Sorry, what was that?
You were saying that there's, okay, now this verse starts a new
Oh,
section
yeah.
or a new heading.
Yeah, headings,
You
yeah,
don't
headings.
see that in the text.
Yeah, so they are always headings. So now what we are talking about is basically about remember we have this, the basis for our anger, basis for our hatred, the 9 reasons. Do you remember? 9 reasons. Okay, flick back to your notes. 9 reasons why we get upset, why we get angry. Remember the first 3 set is, this person has harmed me in the past, harming me now, will harm me in the future. That's the first set. What's the second set?
Isn't it like harming people you care about?
Yeah. So that person has harmed those whom I love in the past, are harming now, will cause harm in the future. That's already 6. Another 3 sets.
They're helping my enemies.
Right. That person helped my enemy in the past, helping now, will help in the future. So this is about the last part, that that somebody is praising your enemy. Remember, it says that I'm angry because that person is praising my enemy, giving him that reputation, that fame, providing him, what do you call, that joy born out of those praise. So now we are coming back to this one, the praise itself. Remember, for ordinary people, fame, praise is so important. If you really think inwardly and really analyze your action, many or most of the things, there is some kind of influence. What others will say, what others will do, what others will say, how it affects me. If I do this, people will say this. I have to do this so that people will think highly of me. We are so, controlled by others' perception. One time, one Rinpoche told me that I find that there's a lot of logic and insight. He says that you should ignore what people say. If you take that so seriously, he said, you cannot even walk. I said, how? Because if you walk this thing, they say, oh, he's walking like this. You try to walk something else, and then, oh, he's walking like this. You say, you will end up not knowing how to walk. But our life, It's all controlled by this, isn't it? Some people, for the sake of fame, sake of name, they enter into a relationship because that person is so and so and so. Even though you know that that relation is not going to last. But because he is such and such, because he is so and so, oh, I want to get married to that person. Then what happened? Difficult relationship. And then some people cannot get out of that relationship because they fear what people will say. I will be viewed as a failure. I will be looked down because I have a failed relationship. So we take all this so seriously, take it all so important. Because of that, you continue staying in a toxic relationship. That's when you suffer. So that's why I'm saying that all this praise, say, if you really analyze, there is nothing really beneficial to you. It says, since short-lived, remember I clarified here, since short-lived sounds are inanimate, so you said, oh, because it's a praise, it's coming from, they're praising for me. So it's a learn. Don't be so fast. Let's just ponder. Let's just pause and analyze this nice word. If you really like that word itself, that sound itself, is that the sound has no intention to really please you, to really praise you, because it's an inanimate object. So they cannot possibly think of praising you, praising me. So why am I so, elated by that? But as it makes the happy, so another thing about is, because it's when somebody praises me, it gives joy to the other person. The praiser, the bestower of the praiser, he receives so much joy. So, but if that is the case, how does that help you? Whatever joy that he has derived or she has derived from praising you is that person's emotion, that person's feeling. So there's no way you can divide, you can share. If it were a pizza, look at the picture here, you can just share a piece, you can have a slice. But that joy, that happiness, that emotion, that feeling belongs to the other person. There's no way that it can give you a part of it. So, but whether this praise is directed at myself or someone else, how shall I be benefited by the joy of him who bestows it? Since that joy and happiness is his alone, I shall not obtain even a part of it. So since you are not getting part of it, so there is no reason. So when you think of these two kind of, 2 points. First, the word itself. It is inanimate. It has no intention to praise you. Remember, when somebody praises you, we'll say, not sincere, not genuine. We don't take it. We don't really jump with joys, run about, isn't it? Oh, when we know that it's not sincere, we will say, it's Tibetan will say that, Jingba Yenje. That means lip service. It's just saying it didn't mean it has not come from. So when someone gives you a lip service, do you really feel happy? You don't. So it's saying that. So that it has no intention to really praise you. There is no appreciation. So why are you so hung up on just a mere word? Then the other one is, if you are saying that because the other person finds joy, then it says that it won't help, it won't do anything, because you are not getting any part of it. Oh, that we finished that. Where is it? Yes.
Is praise different from getting feedback? Because I think in psychology, the getting feedback is really important for human beings.
Yeah. Yeah, feedback, I mean, constructive, you said, the constructive feedback is always good. But it's not about the other person giving feedback. It's like we are so hung up on the praise. We always want to hear nice things, that expectation, because we wanted to hear the nice things from others. When you are so hung on that, what happens is, when you don't get it, you're so upset. Some people go into depression because they heard something nasty. They cannot handle criticism. That shows that you have put so much importance on this praise. So feedback, I think, feedback can be a nasty one, isn't it? It not necessarily a very positive and good one. You say, oh, this is good, but then this way is not that good. You need to improve in that area. So it's a feedback, but it's not a really praise. Okay, here we are. Shen nam yang na ta lang rung, shen ga ta la chi shik pen. Gadi teni tini gi ta gi tele she me tops. Tete wayi ta tena, kun lang te shin cha gui na. Chi jir shen la ga wayi te war ju na ta mi des. So here, we can again argue that, yeah, I understand that, just the praise, when you analyze just the praise, of course, there's no much meaning, it is no point, it is pointless. But then you can say that, as a Bodhisattvas find joys when other people are happy. Because the rationale here is that when someone praises you, the other person is filled with joy. So when Bodhisattva sees that, then they are supposed to appreciate that, supposed to, not really enjoy, supposed to appreciate that kind of joy or rejoice in the other person's joy. So in that, it says that because of that, it said that it's okay to be happy about other people praising me. Do you see the logic here? The reason here, when other people praise me, they find joy. So it said because they find joy, as a Bodhisattva, you're supposed to rejoice. So it's okay. Give me praise, give me praise. Because I am a practitioner, you see. So, I see you finding so much joy. You're filled with joy in praising me. So give me. So if that is the case, if you really care about their joy, because of that you like this thing, then it says that, then surely I should feel the same way towards all. When your enemy is having a good time, having achieving success, because of that, having great joy, why are we so angry? Why are we jealous? Because as a practitioner, you should rejoice. That's the logic. These logics are irrefutable. Is it irrefutable? Isn't it? I have come across this. It is from our Aaron Beck, the cognitive psychologist. So there is part where he has kind of given some points for us to contemplate, to think about when we get so angry at another person, when we are having conflicts with another person. So he has given some examples. There's some questions that we can ask. I thought that these are worth considering. Is it possible that I have misconstrued the apparently offensive behavior of the other person? So when we are angry, we see the other person 100% at fault, 100% negative, 100% black. So when we see that, we kind of, lay back and then ask these questions. Am I misconstruing this? Whatever I see is a misconstrued one. Is there? Are my interpretations based on real evidence or on my preconceptions? Sometimes you already have a preconceived kind of notion of some person. You hear things about other person, and then when you actually meet him, of course there were times where actually he or she was not the way I was told, or completely different. But many times, because we have heard so much, then we tend to see what we have imagined. So it's good to ask that, are my interpretations based on real evidence? Are there any evidence? Hard evidence? Are there alternative explanations? Remember mind reading? We always mind read. Oh, he did this on purpose. She did this on purpose. So you say, is there an alternative? Why that person did it? So that's why in therapy they have this, what was that called? Empty chair or role playing. It's so important and so effective when you have conflicts. So they often do the empty chair, take role of the other person. So let's say father and daughter, or father and son, if they are having all the time this conflict. So they, in a therapy, they will just take the different role. The son to take the father's role, father to take the son's role, and then start talking and play that role. Let's say father and the son, because the father is kind of very kind of controlling that, what do you call, setting up this curfew things. You cannot go from this hour to this, and must be back by this one. So this example is actually given in the book, that this is a real example actually. So this father and daughter having so much conflict because father is very restricted and the daughter doesn't like it. So there's always frequent fight. So they went to see a therapist. So therapist asked to play the roles. And then when they played, the father played the role of the daughter, and then he could really understand the, what do you call, the daughter's side, is it? So why she is like this, all this. And it actually reminded him of his own childhood, where his father was very controlling. And then he said, after they said, yeah, I understand. I see her points, why she is so angry. You can relate to that. And then daughter also sees the father's point. She said that I see that, my father really loves me. My father really cares for me. My father is really concerned about my safety. And I understand where these are coming from. So when you have these understandings, then you will be able to kind of tone down. So you have to look for alternative explanations, not just sticking to your own interpretation. What I see is the right one. There cannot be alternative. Then if you are like that, definitely. So I thought that maybe we can use. These are things that we can apply in our life. Even when you go back. So in the family, there will be always some disputes, isn't it? Especially if you live in a big family, there will be always things happening. So at that time, I have to remember, okay, did it do on purpose or there's something else? So you kind of, what do you call, leave, is it? You kind of give more space. You are open for other explanations. Then you will be not so rigid. So if you are able to do that, you are already practicing. You are already applying Shantideva's teachings in your life. So, but if I do find happiness in his happiness, then surely I should feel the same way towards all. And if this were so, then why am I unhappy when others find pleasure in that which brings them joy? So if your reason is that, praising me brings them joy, if that is the case, then when you see your enemies finding joys, you should rejoice. You should be happy about it instead of getting angry and jealous. And those who help the persons to achieve that kind of joys, or those others who bring joy to your enemy, instead of getting angry at those people, you should be appreciative and rejoice in their action. Tewe thani tuyodo she rangi gawa ki Drupa tenyang tetarami tepe chibe choba kwanar says. So therefore, the happiness, this is a summary. So after giving all that explanation, providing all that reasons, based on all the above reasons, therefore is here. First of all, just the mere word has no intention to really praise you, to really make you happy. And then others' joy, it cannot be parted, it cannot be shared with you. So that will have no benefit to you. So therefore, the happiness that arises from thinking, I'm being praised, is invalid. There's no real basis. So when you really scrutinize thoroughly, then you will find that it's invalid. So when you hung up on this, when you put so much emphasis on praise and fame, then what happens is you will be unhappy when this does not happen. So when you behave like that, it becomes like a child's behavior, child's action. When their sandcastle get destroyed, they get so upset. So when we hung up on this, just the mere words of praise, then we are no different from a child who gets so upset upon seeing the sandcastle being destroyed. Tēsō tāni yēngwār chēs. So from here onwards, it's like this. So all this praise and fame and all this, when somebody prevents praise to us or fame or defame us, it's saying that generally we see it as a harm done to us. But here it's saying that all this, when they taught or when they prevent fame for us, praise for us, is not actually a harm done to us. Instead, it is actually a benefit done to us. So that's what Shantideva was going to explain from here. Praise and so forth distracts me. Tēsō tāni yēngwār chēs. Praise and so forth distracts me. Can you relate to that? Give me an example. How praise distracts you. Praise and forth, there are another three things in there. Praise and fame, and then the receiving material gains and respect. So these four things, praise and so forth, in the so forth there are other three things. Distract me. Give me an example. How praise distract you?
It stops me from reflecting on the things I really need to change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody says all these good things about me, I'll just stop working on those difficult parts. Whereas blame helps me more. Because I'll really start to continue to work better.
Yeah.
So when people praise me, well, I tend to be happy with that, and I like it. I feel like I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing well. But when they do just the opposite, why even bothering? Why should I do this? I'm gonna get this negative feedback. So what I'm living for is not the value of the thing I'm doing anymore. It becomes living for getting a praise instead of the value of the thing that what I'm doing, or dharmic, or whatever thing I'm doing.
Yeah. So what becomes is, when you receive so much praise, of course you are happy, and then that becomes your priority. You are so concerned about this one. You work towards maintaining that. Then you do all kinds of things. Remember we talked about earlier, you give away your whole wealth. Remember the last week? Was it last week? I think so. In the name of praise, I want to be praised. Well, what a philanthropy is it? Philanthropist is it? What is the adjective? Philanthropist. Philanthropist. What a philanthropist he is. What a generous person he is. Just to get that, you give, even though you're struggling, you give. So that is not a Dharma practice. That is not a real giving. Your intention is not to really help the other person. It's really to help yourself. I want more praise. I want people to say that, wow, he is so generous. He can even, let go of everything. And then, for the sake of this, how brave and courageous he is, you engage in all these fights. In a pub, I think the picture that I have, in a pub, you could have just, there will be always somebody there, isn't it, to really irritate you, to start a fight. You could just step back. But then you are worried that, people will think that, what a coward he is. So you try to go do this, just to show that you are not covered. And then you engage and fight. And it may end up, first of all, in prison. It may even kill you, cost your life. So, the praise, when we are so engrossed in praise, we are distracted from our practice. We have no time for practice. Even when we practice, our practice is stained by all these concerns, worldly concerns. Remember that in the Lamrim, it says that there are worldly concerns. Out of many of the worldly concerns, in the Lamrim it says that it is easy to give up good facilities, give up your comfort of having a nice house, comfort of having good food, because that's what the retreaters, the hermits do. They go in the cave, up in the hill, up in the jungle. They live in cave. They don't have air conditioning, they don't have heater, and even the bed and all this thing, very rough. They can give up. But they say that when they are doing meditation, sometimes some will be, what are people thinking about me? Are they saying that I am a good practitioner? Or are they talking about, how long I have been in the caves? This can seep in. So it's easy to give up and let go of other things. But that concern, the praise, the fame, it is very hard to give up. So when you are so, bogged down, is it? With the praise, getting praise, then it restricts your practice. You will be chasing after this. Because when you do practice, you have to do quietly. That's okay, I think it's okay. So you have to do quietly. So you don't want people to know about it when you are doing a real practice. So when you do that, of course, there's no recognition. There are many practitioners in the jungle, but we don't hear about them. We don't know about them. So if you are chasing after fame and reputation, practice is not the way. I mean, if you look at it as, even the real sense, of course, that's where you will get the real fame and reputation. But our, understanding is that that's not what guarantees fame. I must go in the world and do this and this. Most of these things are against Dharma or on the wrong track of Dharma. Praise and so forth distract me and also undermine my disillusion with cyclic existence. So we are supposed to develop renunciation. So when you have these fames, then you think that, hey, life is not bad. Because here, not only praise, we have these material gains. When you have wealth and so that. And they think that, it's not so bad. What are Buddhists talking about, suffering nature of the world? existence. Not bad. It's quite nice, isn't it? You feel that. When you feel that, you will have no renunciation. You feel that where you are living is so comfortable, so good. If you have that view, you will never try to get out of it. Like a prisoner. If a prisoner doesn't realize that he is in a prison, he will never have this mind, wish, desire to get out of it, because you go, oh, this is so nice and pleasant. I start to envy those who have good qualities. Then what happened is, then start to envy those who have good qualities. Normally, like those beggars, those poor people, have no much jealousy against, anybody. Heart. When you have a little bit, then jealousy in terms of wealth. Because you see that it's up there, you are down there, no point to, compete. But when you have some wealth, and then you look at your neighbors and he is getting ahead. I better do something. And then jealousy arises. And the jealousy says in Nagarjuna's Rinjin Changwa, the garland, the precious garland, Chado Shengi Yonden Dong. So jealousy is, the function of jealousy is that you see the qualities of others and then it pains you. That's the function of jealousy. You are counting other person's qualities, and as a result, you suffer. You undergo so much pain and suffering. And when you chase after praise, and when you have all these 3 or 4 things, then what happens is, when you started to hear praise, and your ego gets inflated, and you think that, oh, you are so great, then what happens is, you blur the line of right or wrong, right and wrong. You see that those, the leaders, when they are in power for a long time, then it's like they can do anything, nothing to fear about, no consequences. They are above above the law. And all the very best is destroyed. Because of that, all will be destroyed. Eventually, all the good things will be destroyed. So that's the the downside or the faults of chasing after praise. So Shantideva is saying that. So you see there are these downsides. So why are we so caught up, so hung up on mere words and so forth? Okay, we will stop here for break. Okay. I think I'm okay. Thank you. Wow, it's pretty hot here, isn't it?
Warmer than
The giraffe
Yeah.
didn't- yeah, it's-
It's a bit hot, isn't it? A bit warm. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
How was the canoeing?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to get it to the boundary waters.
That's
This
awesome.
summer, yeah.
Did you like go out like in a canoe or actually camp?
Normally we do, but we just did a long weekend, so it's just a lot to plan. So we rented a cabin off the Hillside Trail and just went out for day trips.
Oh,
And so like big routes where we do a loop, so we still portage, but we didn't have the camping gear and stuff. Just little day pack in the canoe. So it's nice.
That's a better way.
And we also went to this really nice place. It was surprising that it was in Montana, but it was called the Garden of the
Yeah, I
Dog.
used to do pretty intense.
And it's like
It's minimal.
No tea for you? No tea for you?
This is really his focus on food and eating. And so he said, oh, we'll catch fish.
in the middle of it.
He ended up catching only one and moved down to our last carrot at the end. It's inspiring that somebody.
I enjoy doing it, and it's good exercise too.
Yeah.
Everybody's showing up all sorts of places.
Rinpoche, how's the new house?
Oh, did you receive the email?
I saw the email. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So that's nice. So next
Yeah.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, so we are moving on Wednesday, this Wednesday, on the 5th. So we're bringing all this over there
okay.
because that day is a good day, favorable day.
Okay.
So move in, and then the next Sunday, because this is going to be the last class here, so we have to have class there. So I thought we'd make it an open day
Yeah,
for
that's
people
nice.
to come and look. Of course, there's a lot of work to be done, but at least you can see the potential.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Are you coming?
Yeah, I will be there
Please.
next Sunday. Yeah. Do you need any help this
We
week?
are okay. I
Are you
think
sure?
okay.
Yeah.
I have many Tibetan helpers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I figured.
So,
Very many.
yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, people have been very kind. They've been calling me. Oh, do you need help? Is there anything I can do? Yeah.
Is there anything you need for the place?
Oh, remember you already bought flowers, isn't
Oh
it?
yes, I have. Yeah.
So
I
if you are
still
able
have-
to bring that.
Okay. Yeah.
You said you already bought.
I
If not,
I bought now. I'm just. I
You
don't know.
where?
I don't know where they are because
Okay.
we are having work done on the top floor of our house, and so everything got packed up and it's all
Okay.
stacked in our
Okay.
basement. So
Okay.
I can't remember right now
It's
where they
okay.
are. If I find,
Okay.
I will bring, or I could see if I could find some
Yeah,
others.
it's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
If you
certainly.
find it, bring. If not, we can.
Okay.
manage That.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry.
pressure.
I
It's okay.
cannot remember where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's packed up and we're sleeping in our basement right now.
Oh, what kind of renovation?
We upstairs, it had the old, like the popcorn ceiling, do you know? So we had that removed and all painted, and there was very old carpet up there. So now, but to take off the old ceiling, it's very messy, so we had to move everything out, and then they're painting, and then at the end of July we have someone coming to put new floor down, so we just need to wait, so everything's packed up. Yeah.
From here. Six continents on the west side of Wisconsin.
Yeah, because they were in my meditation room, but my whole meditation room is packed up, so I just am not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I'll look.
if it's easy access, then you look for it.
Okay.
If not, don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you need, though?
I think that's about it for the time being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once we move there, then we will see a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I mean, I'm hoping that very soon I can convert that into a gomba. We have a recreation room, and then there's a garage, there's a wall between.
Oh.
So take down, it would be like really huge,
Oh, that would be
45 by 25 or something.
that would be good. So then,
It's
if,
decent size.
to do like a retreat or a weekend.
You can retreat, and good thing is that downstairs in the basement,
It really helps the mind relax when you're
there is another big room, which actually 10 people can sleep. They just put down the mattress.
Yeah.
So if anybody doing a retreat,
calling
you can do that. Yeah. So I see the potential there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Anyway, yeah, you come.
Okay, yeah. No, but yeah, please let me know if there's anything I can do or anything that you need.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I'm a little unsure what to do at the end of class because I know they're so kind making lunch, but I was going to leave quickly after
Yeah,
class
you can leave.
because I'm doing Kadrala. You're familiar with Kadrala?
Who's that?
Female teacher that Lama Zopa Rinpoche has praised quite a bit. She was at
Condola, you mean?
yeah.
Oh, I
Kandra.
see.
Oh, am I saying it wrong?
Kandrola.
Kandrola, I'm saying it wrong. She's teaching at Land of Medicine Buddha, but they also have it online.
Oh.
And so I'm signed up for the Zoom classes.
Sure,
and
sure,
so
sure. Yeah, you can.
I was going, so it's over 4 days. So I've been trying to, I'm doing that. So I wanted to get back to teaching.
That's more important than lunch. Definitely.
I know, but I feel bad too because they're making me lunch. But
yeah. I think it's
very
okay.
kind.
Nowadays, you can pack everything and you can have a dinner.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard her teach before. I mean, I'd heard about her for so many years, but hadn't heard her teach. Yeah, she's quite special.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Good.
But for her, ever since she was 10 or 11
Do you need
years
anything?
old,
Do you
I'm
need
okay.
some water?
Thank you. No,
Okay, you're okay.
everything. And it seems that there are some, it tends to be young women really are attracted
So they're not used to it for breeding, it's just
no, just to have and to ride them around. But yeah, it's a very expensive pet and a very expensive hobby. Oh, yeah, every day. My sister had her horses looked after.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I haven't been there, but yeah.
People, and she rented like a stall for her horse, and then every day she would come. When I last visited her, maybe 7 years ago, or 5 years ago, I went out with her. She left like at 6 in the morning.
the day starts.
Oh, but she loved it so much. And yet, the irony is that she died the year after. It was terrible. Terrible loss. Because she was kind of like a mother almost. She was the eldest child, and my other sister and I, who survived, afterwards were wondering why are we so upset. And it really was because she was like her mother. But one of her horses had killed her. It was an accident. She was just found alone on a very hot day. And it was just, for me, there's a lesson in that. Because, boy, you just, all these hobbies like skydiving, climbing mountains, it's exhilarating, but we can forget that there's real danger there. But well, I talked to another man who said, him and his wife, when they reached, she was 64. He said when he became 60, he had some experiences like they were walking and then there was some hornets or a nest of bees that the horse stepped on.
Oh,
And then it was like, he said it was like the Wild West, where the horse went back up. And I think something like that happened. Yeah, very unexpected. I mean, she was in pretty good health, and she was ironically just had started to work part-time. She was a very workaholic person. Oh,
Although he did
she
say
would only
High
see
energy.
high energy. Yes.
you know,
But,
and they're making
yeah,
some things. It's like, oh,
Yes,
It's really sad. So now, whenever I see a horse, I try not to hate the horse.
Oh, I can understand. The association is
Yeah.
not
But
good one.
I see where I live now. There are people. Sometimes you see more horses than cars during the day. It's like your place. It's way out in the country, and there's quite a few people that just ride down the road.
I have a horrible sense of direction. I just started to put the address in my phone and, and then follow it and not realizing where I'm supposed to go.
To this part of
Yeah.
the world on a highway or is it country road?
Oh, it's a highway. I think like there's Highway 94 that goes
Oh,
all the
Highway
way to
94. You
Chicago.
take that.
Yeah, and then if you go south just after Hudson, there's a city on the border called Hudson, and that for us
Where
is
is that?
the shopping. It's half
Oh,
hour.
nice. Okay. Oh gosh, I haven't been
So,
there.
but it's good. You get to hear the birds.
It's nice out.
Yeah,
Being able to hear that, then you know you're not too much
One
in
of
the
the things
city.
that
yeah.
you know, the rocket was flying.
Yeah, just Monday.
It's more accessible because the peaks are
Monday.
Yeah, so I think
Oh.
both of these things happened near the same time. We bought our house and moved this
I
week.
thought you already moved.
No, we just
Oh.
moved Monday, so
Oh.
that very busy week.
Oh.
You're fully settled or still many things
Oh
to do?
no,
Still lots to do.
still have boxes, and we still have a storage container, and so we have to go back and forth. It feels so much better though, because instead of being in a rented apartment, it feels so much to
Yeah.
be back in the house. And for my spouse, she's a woman who really likes gardening and very grounded. So
Ample
Might as
opportunity.
well come over here because
For
I keep
her,
looking. I'm so distracted looking for the time to run out. So come over here.
and you're doing that.
So far, so good.
Awesome.
Did I hear the gong?
No, you didn't. That was unintended.
So Ken, then did you check how long does it take from your place to the new place?
Oh, I think just
We're on
over an
the
hour.
Wow. Here is an hour or below hour?
Is it also an hour to Fridley?
It's an hour and 10 minutes to here, so I think it's going to be an hour and a half to the
Oh,
new place.
20 minutes more.
That's
Wow.
okay.
You get lots of merit for all that distance.
Oh, and Beverly says that she wanted to come, but she had a back injury, and it's difficult for her to sit,
Yeah.
but she can hear the teachings very well
Oh,
online.
okay.
Bonnie also is not feeling very well, so she's staying.
Poor goodness.